Okay, so we are on part three. Now we are talking about objectives, right? So Isuzu had one objective, but then there could be brands that have more than one objective. Okay, so let's move on to the next brand here, and that is Polaroid. Okay, so now when you think of a company, now you know what Polaroid is, right? So the objective sometimes is twofold. Okay, so for Polaroid, the objective is, well, yes, we would like to get new customers, but we want our customers, our current customers, to keep, buying our product. So two different kinds of objectives. Okay, so that sometimes you're sort of tasked with doing something like that in terms of coming up with two objectives for an ad that you need to create. Okay. I would say for your products, please don't use more than one objective. We just need to learn to get it right. But for seasoned folks, you might see something like that. Okay, let's move on to the next slide here, and that is having a client that could have three objectives. Okay, and so that is the Got Milk campaign. By the way, I have to tell you, um, the California milk processors, they went through a really rough time, at a point where you see more and more people buying less and less of regular milk and moving to almond milk and other kinds of milk. So they had to sort of put into effect uh, a campaign that pushed people to buy their products. Okay, so this is the Got Milk campaign is actually known for that particular time when they came up with this Got Milk campaign to push Americans to drink more milk. And so they went to the ad agency and they said, we've got three objectives. Okay, so how does that work? These were their objectives. Okay, so first of all, they wanted Californians to think of milk, which means keep milk top of mind. Okay. The second objective was they wanted to push the Americans, to drink more milk, and they wanted that through milk occasions. So remind your consumer of new occasions, like you need to drink milk with your cereal, you need milk with your coffee, things like that. You need milk for your ice cream, you need milk to swallow your Oreo or your chocolate chip cookie, right? Whatever it is. So creating these milk occasions and reminding the customers about those occasions. And three, to link usage patterns with purchase patterns, right? So these were their three objectives. Of course, all these objectives cannot be achieved at one time. So they are sequenced, right? So let's first achieve the first objective. Once we're good with that, let's move on to number two. When we're good with that, let's move on to number three. Okay, so that is what this is what they did. Okay, so let me talk to you a little bit about how their overall campaign looked like. But before we do that, let's look at this question. Okay, what is the advertising trying to achieve? And that is an extremely important. So, what is your objective? Do not start to create these beautiful ads without really knowing why you're advertising this brand and what is the objective behind that brand. Okay, so those are the two things we were trying to answer, those two questions. We've answered them. And so then let's kind of move on to the next question. And that is, who are we talking to? Okay, so that is really your target audience. Okay, so let's go talk a little bit about that. So let's talk about Got Milk. Right now, this particular campaign, they said not everybody's going to love milk. Okay, it doesn't excite everyone. There are people who are vegan. There are people who think milk is for kids. There are people who say, we're not going to have milk. We have other options. So it's not motivating and exciting for all. Okay. So let's break it down. Okay. Create subsets, break it down. Let's find out who really actually drinks milk, who buys it, and who consumes lots of it. Okay. So they broke the subset down to these two categories. All right. So that was their target audience. Now they started to think of how to create copy based on those two targets. Okay, so let's look at some of these campaigns. I'm not going to go through all of them, but maybe a good 5-7 of them, and then we'll talk more. Okay.
If I didn't already have a job, I think I would have been really good in advertising.
Ross, you did not come up with Got Milk.
Yes, I did. I did.
Got Milk just sounds so much more appealing than Milk Life, doesn't it?
Oh, no.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 Got Milk commercials.
Wait a minute.
For this list, we're taking a look at the California Milk Processor Board's most creative advertisements that have made this slogan a household phrase. Now let's wipe off our milk mustaches and get down to business.
I can see my house. Got milk?
Number 10, Where Am I?
Can I make a suggestion? You're fired!
In the Got Milk universe, nothing is worse than eating a delicious snack without having any cow extract to wash it down. When a truck hits a douchebag businessman, he awakens in an angelic paradise draped in white. With jumbo-sized cookies aplenty, it seems this can only be one place. Upon realizing that the fridge is stocked with an endless supply of empty milk cartons, though, the deceased reevaluates his whereabouts.
Wait a minute. Where am I?
The flaming logo is a clever way to top things off, confirming this is indeed the other place. Number 9, Salma Hayek. Where our previous commercial took its protagonist to hell, this ad takes Salma Hayek to hell and back as she tries to attain a single gallon of milk. Hayek travels from market to market and even straight to the cow's udder just for a little dairy. She finds salvation in a milk truck, but Hayek's efforts end up being in vain when her daughter points out that they're out of cereal, turning the conventional Got Milk payoff upside down. This commercial is a hilarious ride with an unforeseen destination. Number 8, Drysville. Oh mama, oh papa, I'm feeling so down. How can it be there's no milk in this town? Regular milk may be stark white, but a land completely deprived of milk is even less colorful. The black and white cinematography adds a surprising degree of empathy to this pair of commercials set in the town of Drysville.
And our top story in the town without milk, still no milk. Drysville Mayor Bob Kelly faces bribery charges after being caught with 7 cartons of 2% fluffy donuts filed for Chapter 11.
With no milk to accompany birthday cake, coffee tasting like a cup of despair, and water acting as an alternative, we see just how much a glass of milk can brighten up the world. Moody and melancholy, they're like the Schindler's List or Grapes of Wrath of Got Milk advertisements. I'm living my life in this town without milk. Number 7, Oreo.
Our future rests on the success of this cookie.
If these commercials have taught us anything, it's that you can't have cookies without milk. In this marvelous ad, however, the lack of creamy fluid actually amounts to the ultimate designation as milk's favorite cookie. Sitting around a table, several board members brainstorm names for a new wonder-filled treat. As one boneheaded employee finds himself with his mouth full, he accidentally says a mouthful that will forever intertwine the fate of milk and Oreos.
Oreo.
Smart, funny, and atmospheric, it shows us that great things can sometimes come from accidentally spilled milk. Number